Hello, everybody. My name is Angelique Hunt, but I also go by Angie.
Hello,
These
everybody.
videos are just me being me with my family and
I'm
friends,
talking about
mostly
my
with
story.
Enrique,
But
also known as
1
Codename Mark. Hit him up on YouTube.
I'm back.
And my sister,
So, my story.
Kaylee Hunt.
So,
hit her
currently
up
I
on
am
YouTube.
18
Why
years
not?
old.
Or follow Enrique on
but
Twitter at Listen Writer.
for those
or
of you who
myself
don't know,
on
I'm
Twitter
adopted.
At
My sister is my biological sister.
My bad.
I have two non-biological brothers.
I'll see you guys in a little bit. This is just me being weird. Bye.
Parents' sons. So my brothers are 37 and 32, 3? Okay, whatever. They're about, they're in their 30s. And my parents are their age. So, my adopted mom is 70. She'll be 71 this year. I have known her since I was 6 or 9 months old, they said. So, I was born in Portland at Dornbecker's Children's Hospital. And apparently, my mom, who is not trustworthy with information, said I was born at 5:27 in the morning of November 22nd, 1998, and that I was 2 months early. 2 months early. Which I don't know about that part, but I was born November 22nd, 1998 for sure. Because that's what's on my birth certificate. My sister was born December 24th, 2002. So, I sort of lost the train of thought. That's right. So, how did I get to meet these people? Well, that's easy. The house that I live in right now, this is where, her name's Betty. She's lived here for, all this time. She lived here for like 20 some odd years. And right up the street, my parents lived with their parents. And my parents were friends with her sons. Well, friends, if you know what I mean. My parents were not the greatest people. Actually, let me rephrase that. They were horrible people. They should not have kids, basically. They're those people that you see in the supermarket with a kid, and they're totally neglecting, like, the infant that's, like, in a what's it called? Car seat, Like, it's a baby, and it's in a car seat, and they're totally, like, ignoring it, and it's crying their eyes out, and they're, like, buying weed. That kind of store. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, those are my parents. So my parents, her name is Jacqueline Dominique States, and his name is Joshua Marcus Weiner. So when I was born, my name right now is Angelique Emily Hunt. I changed that when I was in 3rd grade when I was adopted. My given name was Angelique Marie Weiner, even though my parents were never married. So the reason I was taken away, when I was 5 and under, I had already been sexually abused by 2 different people. One being my parents' friend, named Jamal. He was a black guy. To me, he was tall, because, I'm yay high, but apparently he was not that tall. But, to a yay high-year-old, pretty tall when they're, like, all the way up here, you know what I mean? I might make a different whole video on how I was sexually abused, because I do remember it. And then my dad, I was sexually abused by my dad. No, let me stop all of you right here. My dad never got in trouble for sexually abusing me. Huh. Was there evidence, Angelique? Yes, there actually was. So, why my dad never got in trouble? I don't know. It must not have been a very good case. Yeah, it's probably because I couldn't say he did it. But my sister and I were taking out of our home. We lived in Rockwood, Oregon. And it's just right near Gresham. All of you from Oregon around the Gresham, Portland area know where Rockwood is. We were taken out of Rockwood because, yeah, that's where we lived. We'd moved around a lot, and that was like the last place we were before we were taken. My dad, I remember this day very vividly, okay? My dad was never allowed to be at our house. In Rockwood, alright? We get a knock on the door. Because you know how they'll just come randomly knock on your door and, like, check out the house without telling you so you can't, like, hide anything, right? We get a knock on the door. My mom, I go to the door. I'm like, Mom, there's some people at the door. She tells my dad, Josh, you need to get out of here. Well, my dad leaves through the back door and hops over our fence to the, neighbor who were our friends, who won't rat him out. Well, then people come in. And you want to know what they separate me and my mom. They say, Angelique, how have you been? Have you seen your dad? And I'm like, oh yeah, he was just here. He just left out the door. You guys just he just hopped over the fence. Because, you're raised knowing that if you see this official, you do not lie to them. You do not lie to that police officer, or you'll be in big trouble, You're raised that. Well, the people then go to my mom and say, your daughter just said that Josh was just here. And she's like, my mom. Okay, this is my mom. She's a liar. She lies a lot. She's a liar. The people believed me. Well, they told my mom we had like an hour and a half to pack our stuff, that they were taking us. They took us. We were put into this like home where they'd keep you till you have a foster family. We were there for a good amount of time. And then we got a foster parent. Her name was Kathy. She wasn't the best lady. She was actually really mean to my sister and I. Mainly my sister. I don't know why, but she just didn't because Betty was fighting for us this whole time. Because, Betty had gotten attached to me. Because I had been in her life. She was Ma Betty. And she was, part of my life. Well, long story short, after about a year and a half, Betty got custody of us. I got to leave Kathy's house after the first week of second grade. The first week of second grade, we got all of our stuff. We got to live with Ma Betty. She couldn't adopt us for a year because that's, state regulations. And then third grade rolled around and she adopted us. But my brothers have always been my brothers. It's never been like, oh, we're different. No, because I've always been, around them. For my sister, it was a lot harder with everyone because she'd never really been around everyone, and she was taken from her mom at such a young age. I knew our parents were bad people, but my sister never knew. Well, let's roll ahead a couple of years. So in the agreement for Betty adopting us, she told my mom, because my dad had no contact with us at all, she told my mom, you know what, they're telling me you should have only once a year visits with your daughters. Well, you know what, let's go every month. I'll let you see your daughters once a month. And most people would be like, oh man, that's so awesome, yes, thank you very much. Well, my mom would half the time show up. So then Betty moved it back to once every 3 months. Let me tell you about this. Every time my birthday would roll around, a little kid, they're like, oh, it's my birthday. It's my... Right? No, not me. I've never been a big thing on birthdays. Well, Betty would always do something awesome for me, and it'd be amazing. Well, my mom, she would forget about my birthday stuff. She'd have a big talk like, oh, I'm going to bring pizza, and I got you a present, I got you a cake. And then when the visit would roll around for my birthday, oh, I forgot them on the counter as I was leaving. Bullshit. Who forgets? You don't see your daughters in that long. and you forget. Yeah. So, there's been countless times my parents have lied. And then, so I've told my parents, and then so part of the whole visitation rights and everything like that was they could not get in contact with us by phone call, by social media. They could only send letters. My mom could only send letters. My dad was not granted anything. Well, something happened in my 7th grade where I met up with my dad, and don't ask me why, because I don't even remember. It was just this, like, everyone was talking about, like, oh, I have a dad, and I was that kid where, like, well, my dad's horrible, but, but anyway, I'm getting off topic. Anyway, my mom ended up losing her rights to see us because she contacted me via social media, and she has, said, yeah, that was my fault over and over. My sister blames me. And you know what? That's just something you'll have to live with. But then when I was in my sophomore or junior year, Betty let me message my mom. As long as it was messaging, I couldn't call her on the phone because, phones can't be traced, messages she can see. And, things were all right between me and my mom. She wouldn't talk to me that often, which, who gives a rat's ass, Oh, sorry. And then, this year, everything changed. So, like I said, I'm 18. Well, 18, she's legally allowed to see me in person. My dad is legally allowed to see me in person because I'm an adult. I'm no longer a child. This is how my 18th birthday went. After telling my mom, I don't want you to talk about my dad. I don't want you to show my dad anything I show you. I don't want to be involved with my dad. Or you will lose me. Okay? Now, obviously, I always knew she was going to pick him. Alright? Because she always has. She chose the man she loved, which is a sex offender, a child molester, and a criminal over her daughters. Okay. Well, 10 minutes before my birthday, I get this email. I'm like, might be a birthday deal, an early birthday deal, because I didn't recognize the email address. Well, I click on it, and it's my dad saying how proud he is of me, happy birthday, your mom showed me so much of your artwork, and the artwork that I showed her, I sent by pictures, okay? Well, guess what? I stopped talking to my mom. And then, I told her, I said, I don't want any part in your life. Leave me alone. I told my dad, you tried contacting me one more time, I'm calling the cops. Alright? Let me tell you about this. Today is the 14th. Today's the 14th. Yesterday, January 13th. I wake up, look on Facebook, I'm tagged in a post by her, saying, I love my daughter so much, blah, 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 they're my world, alright? I lose my shit. I reshare it, saying, if you loved your daughters, if you truly loved your daughters, you would not have done what you did. And, I explain about you wouldn't have blown weed on my face when I was a little kid, like a baby, wasn't walking. You went to hype me up on Benadryl to make sure I was a little zombie little shithead, that did nothing, to where I was so limp that Betty thought I was just gonna die, that I would never wake up. You wouldn't have done any of that shit. You wouldn't have let him sexually molest me. Because I used to come over to Betty's house, because she was my grandma. She was my mom. She was my ma. And I would say, Ma, my mommy and daddy hurt me. And I could never, ever, explain how. So you know what? I bet she sexually molested me as well. Which, doesn't shock me. But, I posted this long-ass, book paragraph, okay? Saying about how much of a bad parents they are. And how I've just asked for them to not be in my life. And then she messages me, private messages me, doesn't post this shit on Facebook, okay? Private messages me and says, "Oh, I didn't do any of that, and I didn't tell your dad about you or show him anything. My phone got stolen." Your phone got stolen. Okay, so I take a screenshot of what she sent me, and I post on Facebook saying, "It's ironic how you can sit there, text me this private message, but you can't post this shit on Facebook, because you know a lot of people know the truth about you, and you know people are going to back me up." Let's just say I didn't get another message after that, which, thank the Lord, because she probably knew I was going to post it too. And I don't want to sound like this person, like this horrible person who's like, "Oh, I post this shit on Facebook if you diss me," because no, this is one of my biggest problems. I can never fully be myself because I'm self-conscious about myself. You do not know how many boyfriends I have had and how hard it is for me to do a lot of shit because how fucked up I am. And it just, boom, it was a lot for me. And I can be a horrible person if I want to be. I can say so many bad things about you, if you give me motive to. And no, I don't mean like if you make me angry, I'm not gonna just like, be horrible to you and put it all over Facebook. No. You have to be, you have to really tip me over. And I'm such a forgiving person, but there's just thing about sex abusers and molestation that I just, I can't. I actually really considered taking him to court, and I really do want to. I'm getting all the paperwork together. I have, all the emails. I have everything, okay? And I'm going to find all the paperwork I need, and I'm going to go down to the police station. I'm going to say, "Hey, can I do anything with this case?" And if they say yes, you best believe it. I am definitely doing it. Because I don't know how much longer I can live like this. Walking in a shadow, Like, are they going to be over there? Are they watching me? Are they around here? Today, I was at work, in my work clothes, and I swear to God, I saw my dad sitting, like, in our cafe, just looking at me. I swear to God. And it might have been, But that's the kind of stuff that scares me. It really does. And you can only do so much. I guess the main thing I want to say is I don't want your pity. I don't want your pity. I don't want anyone's pity. What I want is your support. And I want people to know if this is what you're going through, if you're going through something like this, you can count on me to back you up. I might not know the situation. You just might, you can message me on any social media, anything, and you can be like, "Man, I'm having a really rough time. This stuff's happening," and I'll fully support you. It doesn't have to be anything I've gone through. You can have your own problems, and you know what? I'll back you up. If I can, I will link my Instagram and my Twitter. Although I don't use Twitter that much, I use my Instagram more, in the description. I hope this gets shared. I hope people see this video. Because to me, this is my life. This is what I have to deal with. This is what my sister, who's 14, has to deal with. And, there's not much more to say about that. And I'm sorry that I went for 20 minutes just talking about this, but I believe this is important. Right. And there might be a part 2 about, how I was sexually abused. And I might make that one age restricted since it's pretty graphic. So, alright, well, you guys have a great day. I will see you guys in the next video. I will post this one up tonight, for sure, because, and I'm going to also make a vlog video for today, but I'm going to warp it into tomorrow, since this one's pretty long. So, I'll see you guys later. Bye.